Welcome to the Life School Masterclass Show, where 6 and 7-figure CEOs build their purpose-driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass Show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Life School Masterclass Show. I hope you're doing well. I'm back with you with another amazing guest and another amazing conversation that I am sure you'll find very, very interesting. I have Judy Wilkins Smith with me today, and we're going to be speaking about decoding our emotional intelligence. We all know how important emotional intelligence is while we are building our businesses. I always say if you are in a service provider, you are in the business of human relationships. So I'm sure this topic is going to be very relatable to a lot of you. Judy, thank you so much for being on our show. Looking forward to learning a little bit more regarding your work and what you do, and also everything you have to share with us regarding this very amazing topic of emotional intelligence.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, it's emotional intelligence, and more specifically, your emotional DNA.
Ooh, going deeper. That is amazing. So let's start with an introduction, Judy. Tell us a little bit about you and how did you get into the work you're doing now?
Wow. So born and raised in South Africa. I was in the healthcare arena, moved over here for a business opportunity for the family. My father was killed not too long after we arrived here. And it was a question of either I write books or I go crazy. And so I decided that writing books was probably a better idea. Started writing the books, was doing research for one book, and stumbled into the work that I do now with a gentleman who said, come and study the work and I will help you with the book. And I went and studied the work and got zero help with the book. But the upshot of that was I kept going. And then people said to me, well, if you could do this for individuals, can you do it for organizations? I went to the Netherlands to go and study a little bit there, and discovered that patterns are amazing things, and emotional DNA is something that, yes, we inherit as much as we inherit physical DNA. And then the other piece that happened was, with most of this work, systemic work and constellations, people who work with us stop at when they've solved the problem. So we found out what it is, we're done. What I kept hearing from clients was, okay, and then what? So I operate very much in the and then what? We have a look at what's happening, where it started, what its impact is, and then what? Because what we discovered was that very often what looks like an epic train smash is literally just the door trying to open for you. All you've got to do is look and walk through.
Oh, I love that. I love how your work has sort of led up through. I would say your journey has led to the work that you're doing today and connecting the dots slowly to the impact you're making. So let's dive right in. So how do we discover, our individual emotional DNA, and tell us a little bit about, what we need to know regarding that.
Sure. So your individual emotional DNA is, of course, a bit of an anomaly. We think that we have free will and we think that it's all about us. But your patterns of thoughts, feelings, actions, reactions are not just ours. They come from multiple generations before us, whether we know them or whether we don't. It's a little bit like inheriting your physical DNA. It doesn't care if you don't know your mother and father. You're still going to get blonde hair and blue eyes. Emotional DNA is the same. And epigenetics has studied the effects of significant events and their impacts on the nervous system or the genetic system rather. So it creates an impact that then creates an imprint, which becomes a blueprint for generations of subsequent behavior. So what we do is we walk in and we go, I always struggle with money. So my first question is, tell me what you think about money. Tell me what you feel about money. When did that start for you? What was happening in your life at that time? Who else in the family has similar limitations or struggles or gifts around money? And what of that do you take on as though it were yours? I always say to people, don't eat everybody else's pizza, it tastes bad. Craft your own pizza, much nicer. So what we look at with emotional DNA is you've inherited all of these patterns, but you'll often get to a point, especially, by the way, an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are primed for it. They go, well, this isn't working for me anymore. I don't like this. I want to do it differently. And the minute they do that, they start to look at this pattern that isn't working anymore, needs to rest. If they look at it wisely, it then becomes the wisdom, the source of wisdom. But there is another pattern that really touches your heart and says, this is the work I want to go and do. I'm called to do this, have to follow this. That's the chapter that only you can write, and it's the pattern that's trying to emerge through you. And so those are the two pieces that I work with. Which one's trying to stop? Which one's trying to start? And what new emotional DNA are you going to seed for the next generations? So it's all about you. It's not about you. And it's all about you.
All the different spectrums there, but it always comes back to you. So that makes so much sense. Judy, I'm so curious to know, what are some of the maybe leading questions or ways that we can raise our awareness around our emotional intelligence?
Yeah.
We're more in touch with it.
What you want to do is notice where you're annoyed, irritated, frustrated, or alternatively, where your interest is really piqued. And you want to sit down immediately and say, what is the topic? Relationships, money, leadership, whatever it is. Again, ask yourself, what do I tell myself about that? What do I think about that? What do I feel about that? What do I make that mean about me? And what do I make that mean about others? Everybody's smarter than I am. Only I can't work with money. I'm the one who's hopeless with relationships. And then I say to people, have a look. Where did that start? What was the event that you used to be able to tell your brain a story that it could tell the body that the body believed? Because that's how we create reality. If you say to yourself, I'm so stupid, your body goes, yeah. And down you go. When you go, man, look what I did. That was amazing. I can do this. Your body lights up. And so those become your realities. So it's looking at it, it's understanding the library that's there, understanding where it came from and what is yours and isn't, and then saying to yourself, now what do I really want? And when I say really want, many of us want to want. We don't full on want. We just like the idea of wanting. It's when you really, really want something and you're so excited that you use elevated emotion. So you use gratitude, love, happiness, enthusiasm, passion, excitement. When you couple that to what it is that you're wanting to create, you create a new reality because the body goes, and it buys the story. And now everything that you do swings into that spectrum, and suddenly you're creating a very different reality.
Ooh, I love that. That was so intentionally and so beautifully articulated, because a lot of times, as entrepreneurs in the day-to-day, we go through so many ranges of emotions because, we're facing rejection. We don't always know maybe what the next right thing would be that we need to be working on. A lot of times we're working on things that might not have an immediate ROI and all of that. So, the way that you just described that, I think is really helpful, because even myself, a lot of times, I'm like, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? So it just really, paying attention to where we're frustrated or angry is like what's underneath that. So taking some time to intentionally stay present with our emotions, I think is really important, because our emotions drive us. Our emotions drive our actions. If we're not aware of our emotions, and that's going to be my next question to you through your amazing work that you're doing. Why do you think emotional intelligence is really important? Not just for entrepreneurs, I say everyone. It's because we have to really be mindful of those, because emotions can stop us from taking the right action, or they can elevate us, as you said, to take that next leap that we might need to move our company forward. So why do you feel, Judy, based on your work, what have you seen? Why is emotional intelligence such an important area that we need to focus on?
It's because it's your master creator. If you sit and think about it, sit and think about something that's really sad or scary for you. I always say to people, do you watch horror movies? And they go, no. And I say, but you tell yourself horror stories about yourself all day long, and you believe them. And the minute the body bites onto that emotion, bearing in mind that no matter what your religion or faith is, pretty much all the big ones teach us that we should suffer because it's sacred, and that we're terrible sinners, and maybe one day we'll have suffered enough to get a place over there, which is junk. But we buy into the whole idea that we are less than. We're not equipped to. We are, the universe is this whimsical thing that says, oh, Ilona, you're a good person. You can have this. Judy, you're terrible. Sorry, none for you. No, we are master co-creators. So for as long as we're telling ourselves and we bought into the meta pattern, the big pattern of suffering and being small, that's all we can be. That's all that the heart can tolerate, and it's all that the mind can imagine. I'm not good, I'm not smart. Yes, 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 yes. But we are master co-creators. So the minute we look at something and we go, I really want to do that. In fact, I know I can do that. And you feel that tickle of excitement. Now you're tapping into human potential. And when you don't let anything and anybody put you off because you are so clear you're doing it and you are so excited, it pulls you past all of those multi-generational excuses and you're on your way. Nobody's going to stop you. And we've all had them. You say to yourself, I want to go to Cancun for a vacation. And your mother says to you, are you crazy? Do you know how much that costs? And you go, but I want to go. Yeah, but you could be putting that money into something else. Yes, I know, but just think, the pools, the water, how am I going to feel? It's really going to bump up my creative juices. And she's going, oh, it's really not a good idea. You've got two things that'll happen. Either you're going to go, Mom's right, got to be practical. Never mind, it was a nice idea, boom, and down you go. Or you go, you know what, I'm doing this. I really, really have to do this for me. And you get this excitement and enthusiasm and you book it. You've just bypassed all of the old excuses, all of the old sayings, and you've gone, watch me. And the minute you do it once, you create that bubble inside you that goes, I can create stuff here. Let's see what I can do next. And so it becomes a habit. And we tap into that human potential. And the more we win, the bigger the appetite. So now we're going after the next fish because it's a little bit bigger. And once you've had that nice feeling, you want more and more. It is more addictive than suffering. So you really want to tap into that.
Ooh, I think you just gave me goosebumps because I also speak so often about human potential, and the way you just described that, that's exactly what the articulation is that's needed for a lot of people. Because even me personally, I am so addicted to the second part that it just becomes, in many ways, I might be looked at as rebellious or mischievous, but because I have already tapped into that I have to follow that. I call it a gut feeling. I must have you back on the show because this is such a topic that we need to speak more regarding it, because a lot of people are feeling that, but we are, we want to people please, and we're like, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I shouldn't do that, maybe your husband tells you no, your mom tells you no. Like, everyone has their perceptions, but if you tap into that and you feel that, I've experienced this so many times that it gets so addicting when you say, can I just go like 1 millimeter further? What else can I do? What else can I do? And that's how you uncover your amazing potential, inside of you. And then you realize, like, oh my gosh, there is no limit. I can just keep trying every time to go a little further with
so
that.
now, here's the interesting thing about that is mom and husband are guarding the family DNA. They're going, no, 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 no. In this family, you belong by doing less, suffering more, being sad. They're guarding that. But the truth of it is, the system is aching for someone to go, can we please grow a little bit here? And they may buck against it and rebel against what you're doing. But when they see that you don't die, they're going to come trotting on behind you not too shortly.
That's it. Oh my gosh, love it, love it, love it, love it. That's exactly what it is. Judy, I must have you back for sure. I loved all our conversation. I want to have you back to speak more regarding human potential. I try to keep the conversations within under 20 minutes so that people just grasp those like aha moments and we spark ideas. I think you definitely did that with everything you shared. And I would love to know at the end, I usually ask my guests, what has the school of life taught you? What's a final message that you want to leave our audience with so that you can come back here and we can chat more regarding the human potential side of things? It's fascinating stuff.
Perfect. So you want to know what I want to leave them with? That's super easy. Two things. There is always an answer. You simply have to be willing to find it. There is always an answer. And the second one, you are a truly remarkable life and co-creator if you know how to see it.
Amen. Let's stay with that. Judy, where is it that people can find your amazing work? I loved it.
Judy Wilkins-Smith.com. And there they'll find all of the live events that I do. They'll find my constellations, meditations. And then, of course, they can find me by buying the Decoding Your Emotional Blueprint. And that is my new book that dropped in June. Goodreads made it their must-read of the summer. Publishers Weekly endorsed it. And Psychology Today is also using it.
Love it. Go check out Judy's book. Judy's has a wealth of wisdom. I can already tell. Thank you so much for everything you shared. And I will definitely, we will make another arrangement to have you back regarding human potential. I think it's a fascinating subject. I'm so glad to have known you, and I hope everyone got value from our conversation. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.